Hello, we are recording. Hi, today I'm outside for the Nia-V show. Today I have one question, and the question is, should walk-alone parents, when I mean by walk-alone parents, what that really means is single parenting. I don't want to say single mother, because people always think that it's always a mother that's single, because I now have known single fathers who are raising children by themselves. So to avoid all the single mother, single father thing, I just say walk alone parents. I don't like to say single, because you know, most of them are widows and still married to whoever they were with, so it's not really nice when you give them that single status. So I say walk alone parents. So the question reads, should walk alone parents get back on the love boat again? And what they mean by getting back on the love boat again is, should they start dating? Should they give their heart again? Should they fall in love again, you know, after whatever happened, or whatever it is that happened with the ones that we had before? Now, I have my answer. And obviously you can agree or cannot agree with it, because everybody goes through different things and there are different purposes and reasons why we find ourselves walk alone parents. However, I have 5 reasons why they should. Okay, 5 reasons why they should. Said it depends on the circumstances. I'm just going through the surfaces. I'm just talking in general, you know, we're not looking at any individual person's cases. Yes, this is just a general, you know, advice, should to say. So the first reason why they should is your children are watching. Now, if you are in the setting where a child is coming to this world, the child doesn't know anything, and all he sees is just dad or mom alone, always on the phone with somebody, you know, who's supposedly supposed to be the other parent, fighting all the time. What you have introduced into that child's life is, this is a normal way of life. And what you are living right now is what you are showing to them as being life. So what you're saying is, that is life. So if that child now grows up to start misbehaving and doing all sorts of manner of things that they've picked up from you by just watching how you behave, not necessarily what you tell them, because remember, children do what they see, not necessarily what you tell them. Now the question I want to ask a lot of you walk alone parents, what is it that you're doing that you believe that your kid could be seeing you but pretending like they're not seeing? Because remember, we always tend to think that kids are kids, they're innocent, they don't know, but eyes don't lie. And the fact that the eyes doesn't lie, it doesn't also necessarily mean that what the eyes is seeing is the truth, is it? Now, that's number 1 reason why I think they should, because your children are watching. Your children or your child is watching. Number 2, the reason why I think they should get back on the love boat is because your mental wellness will be affected, and which is true. You will move from speaking to another adult to understand what you're doing, to speaking to only children, shouting and screaming and them frustrating you. You will be affected mentally, whether you want to admit it or not. You will be affected, you know, mentally, and especially if you had mutual friends, and when breakups happen, it can also sometimes affect the mutual friends. So you may need to start all over again in creating a new, you know, tribes that you can walk with and stuff. So yes, number 2 is your mental wellness will definitely be affected. Either you're going to be starting getting depression, or just starting getting it's just not going to be stable. You're not going to be happy, basically. So number 3 reasons why I think they should get back on the love boat is basically you're gonna end up creating a habit just to fill up the void that you feel at that moment. Yeah, basically. And everybody knows habits can vary. It could be a drinking habit, going out habits, spending habits, eating habits. You know, people do measure other things habits, which I'm not going to mention here for many reasons, but people know what I mean by habit. So you will create a habit to try to, you know, fill up that void of what has just happened. So that's also one of the reasons that you need to look out for, one of the reasons why you should be getting back on the love boat and, you know, going out there and trying to befriend another person. So, and number 4 reason why I think they should get back on the love boat is, I wrote down and I said, yeah, your basic communication skills will be affected, basically. And we all know what the basic communication skill is, right? For those of you, for the purpose of those who do not know what the basic communication skill is, according to the UK, it's reading, writing, listening, and talking. Those are the 4 basic communication skill that will be affected, because your thinking will be affected, how you communicate to other people will be affected, and you will no longer be listening to people, because that also will be affected because you're upset and you will not be able to speak properly. You may start cursing a lot more, hate words coming out of you because of how you're feeling. So yes, your basic communication skill will be affected. Yeah. And then the last but not least, number 5 reason why I think they should get back on the love boat is your children or your child will have emotional attachment issues with others when they grow older. In other words, your children will not know how to deal with emotional issues when they get older, and it's their turn to also become parents, it's their turn to also become wives or husbands. You know, they will struggle because they had to watch you struggle in having to show your emotion. You see, most of the things that you do around them will be affected. So that's my reason. So I'll just quickly go through it. The first one, I said your children are watching. Second one, I said your mental well-being, your mental wellness will be affected. The third one, I say you will end up creating a habit to fill up the void. Fourth one is your basic communication skill will be affected. And then the 5th one is obviously your child or your children will find it hard when they get older to have emotional attachment. So basically, these are my 5 reasons why I believe walk-alone parents need to really consider in getting back in the love boat. Now, Nina, who the heaven are you to say that? You don't know what I've been through. Well, of course not, I don't know what you've been through, but I can only speak about this, and I'm very passionate about walk-alone parents because I was a walk-alone parent for a very long time of my life. And my reason is because I was dealing with something issue more deeper than that. As most of you that do know, I was gang raped at the age of 7, and then I never dealt with that straight away. Then I was moving on to relationship after relationship. As you all know, 5 of my children are from 5 different fathers. But you know what? Yes, I can. And yes, I went back on the love boat, and thanks be to God, I found me a honey, not just a honey, but a very most handsome guy you can never imagine. And we had the child number 5. You know, it was a struggle. Happily, it's not like, oh, smiling. No, happily, meaning that yeah, through the arguments, through the ups and downs, through it all, you know, we're still able to communicate. Our basic communication skill is getting better, you know, but then we're confronting each other on a daily basis on some stuff. We're talking more. And it is beautiful because then I've become okay. Look at me here now, I'm excelling, I'm thinking my career, everything I've ever dreamed to do, I'm doing it. And it's affecting my children. My children are also performing great. You know, everybody know what happened to my daughter 3 years ago. It's not good to be alone when you have children because it can be really hard and challenging. You need to de-stress. And sometimes it's good when you have children to hang around with people who also have children, so you share the burden, you share the story, you learn from one another. So yeah, had a very good network of people around me. I was just so blessed, and before even I knew that I was blessed, I just was blessed. I didn't even know how blessed I was because of the people that I had around me. It was amazing, the love and everything. And before I realized, oh my God, God had everything planned. And this is the thing. So what happened happens. We have to learn to let it go. And I always said, there's an interview I went on to, it was a radio interview. Somebody, you know, interviewed me, and I went through, and they asked me a question which I felt okay, can I be honest with the question? So I just decided to tell them the truth and honest, and people never really understood my answer to speak about this baby father things and stuff, because I have 5 of them, girls. Listen, my own brain to deal with is hard as it is. Now having to deal with the 5 kids brain is hard. Now imagine having to deal with 5 other adults and the issues to deal with your children. I'm telling you, yeah, it's different to have 1 man with 5 and have 5 kids for 1 man. But when you have 5 kids from 5 different men, that's 5 whole lot of baggages and issues. Because you know, men sometimes y'all like kids. So technically, I have 10, really and truly. Only 2. Oh, only 6 is with me, including my own husband at the moment. So yeah, so I manage them and I handle them. That's different. It's called being mature. Yeah, I handle them and I manage them because I do love them. See, when you love somebody, you will take some hit and blow and let it go. Now, loving somebody and being in love with somebody is 2 different things. Now, I love them, the love of God, because God loves everybody. So they asked me a question, and their question was, do you love the father of your children? As blunt as that. They asked me, do you love the father of your children? And I said, yeah, I do. They said, you do? And they doubted my answer. And I said, yes, I do. But how do you know you do? And I said, oh, I know I do because I love my children. It's simple as that. Because I cannot declare love to my children and I hate the very person whom I got together to make those children. Now, I love them all, and they all know, and even my current husband know that I love all my baby fathers. I can never do wrong to them, even though they're always trying to do something wrong to me to come to me. As you can see, my son at the back trying to wave. You know, they're always trying to come back at me in one way or the other, but I don't pay attention because, like I said, men can be childish sometimes. But you know what? Yes, I can. And yes, I went back on the love boat.